Hello, everyone, and welcome to 15 Revit tips and tricks in 30 minutes. My name is Carolina, and I work in both marketing and sales here at MicroCAD, and today's presenter is Julian Nino. By the end of the webinar, you have learned something new to help you with your workflow, and that's definitely something worth 30 minutes of your time. Throughout the webinar, you can ask a question at any given point at the lower left-hand corner. You can ask Julian to revisit a step or ask any Revit question. This is your time, so we want to make sure that you make the most out of it. And in the upper left-hand corner, you'll find links to our Revit Tools info, as well as our MicroCAD website. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube as we post all our webinars there at the end, so you can share that along with colleagues and find other resources. Without further ado, we'll pass it on now to Julian.
Thanks, Carolina, for the introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. So as Carolina mentioned, on this webinar, we are going to show you some basic tips and tricks. And as you may know, one of the challenges of Revit is the number of ways that you can use it to accomplish the same objective. And there are different ways to navigate through your model, and maybe some of these tips and tricks are going to save you some time with the fewest number of mouse clicks. So before we start with the tips and tricks, let's set a timer. I think this will be fun because we are going to keep our promise, and let's try to do in under 30 minutes. So let's start with the tips and tricks. So the first thing that I want to show you is going to help you a lot, especially those users that works on laptops, such as myself, or only have one monitor. So you can avoid eye strain by changing the size of the temporary text. And another thing that I want to mention is some of the users prefer the all black background with that all AutoCAD fill. And I know you can change it if you liked it. And it's really simple to do. You can just simply go to File, Options, then Graphics, and adjust it as you want to. Then we have some tip for file management. This is a feature with effect from Revit 2021. But before that, to open a model from the home screen, you will need to be working in a central model, and you will have to use the open command to open a local copy. But now you can just open your files directly from the home screen safely. And the great thing about this feature is that if at some point your model location changed, it will not longer appear on your home screen. So you will be needing to go back and look for that screen before adding new models to your home screen. So you can now open your local files directly from the home screen. So this is really good. Another thing that I want to mention is, well, remember that we have keyboards. And a major feature of Revit is that it's mouse driven. And that's what most of our users think. So the keys that you mostly use in Revit are the Control key, the left shift key, Tab, and Escape. And let me confess you something. I'm one of those chronic Escape key users. I needed to use it multiple times after I do a command. Same with the arrow keys and the delete key. But if you are like an old school Revit user, you will also remember the F1 key, which will bring some help and some tips. So right now you can see out of the box keyboard shortcuts from Revit. And depending of your specialty, you are going to use one or more of them. And I just want to bring up two. One that I actually would like you to avoid, and is the unpin shortcut. I mean, do you really want to unpin your reference model? And I want to bring you my favorite, which is the align shortcut. I use it all the time. Personally, I more like an mechanical type of Revit user. So when I create my docs, I just hit DT and then just hit the align shortcut. So this should be great for you. Additionally, remember, after you have manually set or learned those shortcuts, you can get really creative and start increasing your productivity by setting up your own keyboard shortcuts. So on the View tab, if you go to Windows panel, user interface, and click on the drop down, you should be able to see your keyboard shortcuts. So you can create a set of custom keyboard shortcuts to suit you or to suit your company's style of working. And the cool thing about this is you can export it and just right away share it with a teammate and import it to the other computer. Next tip that I want to share with you is, and I bet a lot of you maybe are not familiar with this one, but maybe some of you already know it. So how about typing Control F on the project browser? When your project is so cluttered with tons of views, legends, schedules, a lot of information, and you are looking for something, you're going to start to infinite scroll, if you know what I mean. So something about this pretty cool thing is going to save you some time. And an additional thing that I want to show you, let me just jump into Revit for a second, is with this simple command, Control F, you are going to be able to find like a really cool, really fast, the elements that you want to show. So for example, on this example, I have an air handling unit family that I would like to show, to search for. But the thing is I will need to go scroll, go into the families, then look for the mechanical equipment, and then find my air handling unit. So with this command, just simply type Control F, then hit air handling unit. So the thing is going to automatically highlight it for you. And something really cool as well is that we offer our MicroCAD productivity tools, and this will also help you to find great things in your project. So let's zoom into our floor plan. This is an active view. And usually when you're working on large projects, let's face it, not every one of us had great memory. So you are not going to memorize all the rooms and spaces. So this tool that we have is the Zoom to tool. So with this tool, it's going to show you a display. And with this display, you should be able to see a list of room and spaces in your current or link projects. And you can just simply choose an instance of which room would you like to view. So how about we try for the men's restroom on here, the first floor. If you go, just click it on the checkbox and hit OK, is going to zoom us right out to the space. So this tool is great as well to look for something on your drawing. Let's go back to the presentation. This one right here is for architects and engineers that works with schedules, and really good about this feature right here is that now schedules can be stripped and on the sheets as well on the schedule view. You can customize them, you can change the colors, and I mean, for someone could be that this is just cosmetic, but for other ones will be like a huge difference, especially if you have those really large schedules when it comes to doors or plumbing fittings. This starts to get like really cluttered and you need to separate the spaces of your items. So this is great as well. And I'm going to go back to Revit because I want to show you a special feature now that we are talking about schedules. So let me just go to one of my sheets. In this case, I have A109 schedules, and then I have A110 schedules. And let me show you one of my schedules, which is the door schedule. So you will see it's kind of big. It has a lot of information, but at some point, if you open your Revit 2022, you might notice, or have you tried this tool right here? This is new. This is a split and place schedule. So this tool is going to allow us to split a schedule into multiple segments and place it in the same position on the selected sheets that you do. And with this tool, you can change the height as well for each segment. And also is going to help you to accommodate your drawings, because at some point you start moving your schedules a lot, but with this tool, it's going to apply it for the same area of that sheet. So let me try to select 109 and 110. In this case, I just want to show you like the basic thing, so which will be split evenly. So when you click split and place, you're going to see that it's going to take us to the first drawing. So in this case, I just want to locate it right here on the top left of the screen. And once I place it, you will say, well, it seems like it's like a normal step when I use Revit. So I'm going to tile my windows, and you are going to see on the left, I have 109, and on the right, I have 110. And you will see that my door schedule has been placed on the same location, and it has been splitted. So, which is really good. Another thing that I want to show you, if I zoom in, you're going to see that it ends up in the mark, and you can as well edit this if you want to show more or less information on your drawing. So you see, I just move it a little bit on the 109 to move door for 212, and now you can see that I just removed that from my next sheet. So that's a really great thing now that you can use on 2022. And let's face it, did it happen to you as well? Where did the Revit libraries went? So this is a feature that was introduced on Revit 2021, but now instead of downloading and placing the out-of-the-box Revit libraries, they are located in the cloud. So this is great. Do you remember how many gigabytes of information those libraries represent on your computer? So that will be like the major advantage, because at this point you are going to not longer need this space to save your libraries, installing them and manage them. But as well, you can just go right here on the cloud, look for families, and just have it on your model. This could be a disadvantage for some people, because at this point you probably have already your family office standards, and in some cases the bin managers are going to elect to disable them. So to see this, you are just going to go to your Insert tab, and you can see it right up there on your ribbon, Load Autodesk Family. And now that we are talking about families, did you know that you can now simply and easy it is really simple and easy to load families directly from your Windows Explorer? So right now with Revit 2021 and 2022 is easy and is faster just by clicking your family and dragging it right away to your project browser. Before that, it was kind of complicated, or you have to go and navigate your project browser. You need to load it, import it, all this type of stuff right away. This is really simple. Just click it and drag it. And let's not forget that you can open a family directly just by dragging it directly to the ribbon. So did you see the last step? Just drag it into your work area. But if you want to open the family, just drag it to the ribbon. And this is really good because with this type of tool, when you just drag it to the ribbon, you are going to be able to edit it right away with all the information that family contains. Another thing that I want to show you is if you right click in the family, in the project browser, you can just hit type properties and access all the information without having to open your family. And now that we have been talking a lot about dragging and dropping, I think most of the users don't know about this one. So let me show a really good thing about Revit 2022 as well. So before, if you remember, or if you are really familiar with Revit, and this is the way that I was taught, is that if you want to load a view into a sheet, you needed to do it either from the project browser, or you need to do it directly from the ribbon and from your view ribbon, right? And this will take us around, I would say, between 3 to 4 clicks. But did you actually know that you can just click it and drag it to your view? How was that? Like 2 clicks? Let me try the old way. So that was the click and drag. And the old way, I will have my level 3. Let me go to my sheets. So right here, third floor plan. Do you see it is empty? Let's try it this way. You will need to come to either your project browser, right click it, add view is going to show us a display box, and you will need to find for that floor plan on this list, and then add to view, and then locate it. Do you see? It's a couple of clicks, but it's going to save you time, and it's especially if you already know what needs to be done on that drawing. So let's back to the tips. The next one is something that I really like, and this is the control visibility of disciplines. So you are wondering why sometimes the Revit ribbon is really cluttered. So sometimes you don't need all these tools or panels, especially when it reduces the software performance. So let's say you don't use the mechanical analysis tool, you don't use the electrical or the piping analysis tool. And for most of the users, I don't want to discriminate your structural people, but most of us doesn't use the structural analysis or either the structural tab tools. So you can just simply come to File, Options, User Interface, and Tools and Analysis and turn them off. An additional thing that I want to show you is for collaboration. Sometimes do you feel that you're unable to access your model? So for this tip, I want to just say you can go to your settings and set your word sharing update frequency to manual updates. So this is going to help you to work with your model faster. You can as well detach your model prior to plotting multiple sheets. This is going to save you time when you're printing, and let's say you're facing a huge deadline with a bunch of drawings. This is going to help you and save you a lot of time. You can reduce your network latency between server and workstations. You can as well borrow model elements while working on high latency networks. And I will say this is one of my favorites because sometimes we forget about this. So if it's possible, connect your workstations via hardwire instead of Wi-Fi. So for some laptops, you have to make sure to disable your Wi-Fi before connected to the hardwire. Otherwise, it's going to jump between connections, and this is going to save you some time, especially if you're working on BIM 360 or you're work sharing with multiple people. So this is going to help you. And you can as well talk to your teammates and schedule the sync between you and your teammates. Another great one that I want to show you is that now you can upgrade your projects using the BIM 360 tool. So most issues with BIM 360 start happening when you are not using an updated model. And you notice some companies uses the latest, some companies uses the oldest. So you can upgrade your old projects to a newer version of Revit using the simple tool that is called Revit Cloud Model Upgrade. And when using this tool, you should be able to test your original file for possible issues. You can create a report of the upgraded model, and you can upgrade the project without the need to downloading and then upgrading. Everything can be done from the cloud. So this is going to be time saving as well for BIM managers. Now we get to housekeeping. So are you wondering why are your Revit is working so slow? So let's talk about the infamous temp folder. So most issues with Revit or BIM 360 can be resolved by simply cleaning up your and cleaning up your temp folder. And an additional thing that I want to mention is that now Windows 10 has a temp folder cleaning utility built in. So you can customize it however you want it or need it to clean up that folder, and it's really going to improve your software performance. And another thing, now that we are talking about housekeeping, let's talk about cleaning your model. So we have, as part of MicroCAD productivity tools, is one tool that is going to help you to clean up your model. So as you can see on our screen, we have the project cleanup tool and the QA model review tool. So at some point, your project is going to view and have a lot of information, views, legends, schedules, families, groups. And if you use these tools that we offer, it's going to provide you the ability to lightweight your file. You can clean up your project and removing all the unplaced rooms, purge unnecessary elements, lines, detail lines, materials, and object styles. All of that things that you don't use on your model, but you just forget, you can use these tools to clean up your project and improve the software performance. And a couple of last tips that I want to show is we have to forget there are still some people who use CAD. And when you use CAD, you start working with people that uses Revit. So from time to time, you need to use these cut drawings on your Revit model. So let's mention a couple of things that will help you to not damage your Revit model, or let's face it, sometimes it kills your Revit model. But if you're working with CAD files, try to avoid importing CAD into a project or a family, because this is a known cause of project corruption. The other thing is to avoid importing CAD and explode CAD in your project or a family, because this is as well a known cause of your project corruption. Always try to use CAD line work into Revit elements. Link CAD files should be cleaned up before linking them, especially if you're using Civil 3D files, because they are really large. Try to purge, audit, and proxy graphics set to 1 before linking your CAD files. Just make sure to unload and remove any unnecessary CAD files after you have been using them. And I know a lot of people also work with Rhino and SketchUp, and you link 3D models. So try to split them into sections. So these couple of things will help you to solve these issues that can be caused to your project. And sometimes this can be really extremely hard to track down and clean up on your project. So make sure if you're working with CAD, try to do these things, and it will help you to improve your project. And I will say that's time. So we have 7 minutes to spare, and that means we can fix more tips for the next webinar.
Great. Thank you, Julian, again for those wonderful tips. And looks like we did have some time to spare, but we have some questions coming in, so we can definitely go to that. If you haven't asked a question already, definitely be sure to do so in the left-hand side. I'm always happy to answer those. Looks like we have the first one coming in. What did you use to find the room?
The room. Oh, okay. So let's revisit Revit. To find the room, we use our MicroCAD productivity tools, and that's the Zoom to tool. And it can be used as well to zoom to a space. So if you already have our MicroCAD productivity tools, just go to the View tab, just click it, and remember, to use it, you need to be on an active view that actually has information. So let me just revisit that tool. And in this case, let's change for a separate room. Let's say the stairs of the building. Just like that is going to take us to that room. All right, Carolina. Carolina,
Sorry,
can
my
you
apologies. Do I need to install the library?
the library? Oh, with the new way that the library works within Revit is that you don't need to install it. Is the advantage is that you're going to save some disk space, and let's face it, sometimes the out of the box Revit families, you end up using them and edit them or adjusting them to your company needs. So this is great that now the Revit library is in the cloud. And the great thing is as well is supported by Autodesk, and they keep updating all the families that are within the library. So no, you no longer need to install the library on your computer.
Great. And then how do you add personal families to the cloud files?
Oh, that's a great question. So let me just go right here, and let's go to the Insert tab. When you click on your Load Autodesk Families, right here, you can see it. How do I find to load content? Just click it right there, add some information to you, add information to this library. So it's going to be really good as well to support another users that are using the Autodesk family library.
Great. And then where are your MicroCAD tools?
Our MicroCAD tools are located on the top ribbon. So Carolina can also tell you where can we acquire them. But after you install it, it's pretty simple. It's an add-in, and it's going to just appear on the top right of your ribbon, and it's going to be next to the modify, or as it's arranged on an alphabetical order, it either going to be next to the L if you have an L tool, or the M for modify.
Right. Yeah, so those are add-ons that will be added onto your software once you purchase them from us. They're $2.99 and they last you the whole year. So if you think about it, it's less than $1 a day, and they really help you be more productive. Not only does it come with the tools, but it also gives you advanced support with us here at MicroCAD. So you call in, every time that you call, you're put at the top of the queue. Our average response rate's around 40 minutes. So if you ever have any CAD issues, not only will you have the tools to help you, but you'll also have someone at your disposal to help you whenever. And you can definitely, on another one of our slides, we'll have our contact information. You can reach out to me to learn more, to get a quote on those tools as well. Another question here, to clean up the file, what is the difference with manage, purge, unused?
Alrighty. So when cleaning up the file, so sometimes if you want to manually kind of like audit your file, you will need to do that from your home screen, and that will save you some time to revisit all the information that is in your project and could possibly have some issues. But if you want to purge your file, that means you are going to need to clear all those elements that you are not using. So let's try something. For example, right here, let's say this is my project, and I have loaded some families for desk, or I'm uploading some families for furniture. So my Revit model is going to fill up with all those families, but at some point, if I bring up more desk for my project, and let's say that I am not using those desks, it's going to fill up my model with all the information. So you want to purge your model of those unused elements. Can you repeat the other two, Carolina, please?
What is the difference with manage and then go to purge unused?
Alrighty. Okay. So the difference with this one and the ones that we have on the productivity tools is that right here, you will need to go either for views, families, groups, or other styles. With the ones that we have on our productivity tools, is that it's going to specifically select the ones that you need to clean up. And this is especially, I will say, before you produce your set of drawings before sending them to another teams, or if you want to present them to the city. So this is really cool, especially for presenting your set of drawings. And the same goes for your QA and QC model review, because it's going to save you to clean up your tags on your project.
And then another question, what is the benefit to Revit cleanups versus using Purge in Revit?
Okay. Can you repeat it once again, please, yep. Carolina?
What is the benefits to Revit cleanup versus using Purge in Revit?
I will say they are kind of the same. The only thing I will say, it will save you some time, especially if you know what do you need to clean up within your model. Other than that, I will say they are pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. So another question, how to display polyline for areas of rooms when exporting to CAD?
On that one, I think I will need to revisit that one, and maybe if you leave us your contact information, we can help you to solve that one.
Yep, I see who wrote it here, so I'll make note of that, and we'll reach out to you to kind of come up with a solution for you. Looks like another question. When was the location in the computer settings to clean up files? Where was the location in computer settings to clean up files?
Okay, let me go back. So that's our tip number 13. So the location is your C drive or your user, then your username. Just make sure that some of the computers have multiple users. Just make sure that it's yours. Then app data, local, and then temp. You can also try the following. Let me show it to you. You can hit on your computer the Windows and the R key. So you are going to hit your Windows and then Windows R. So it's going to show you this right here, and you can type percentage, temp, percentage, and it's going to take you to that folder, and you can just select all the information that you have right here and clean it up right away. And let me just leave this a minute so you can either take a screenshot or take a look of the information to configure your Windows 10 settings.
Great. And then does MicroCAD have any add-ons for revision cloud management?
So at this point, we don't have any add-ons on cloud management, but as Carolina mentioned, as part of our help desk and support, we can help you to go over these settings and help you improve your cloud management of your model files.
That's right. And then can you copy and paste legends in the same way you do schedules?
I think for the time of this webinar, we can revisit that as well, and we have your information, and we can go back and help you with that one.
Okay, great. Yeah, and as a reminder, we also offer training. You can do training, group sessions that we can find online, linked in our website in the upper right-hand corner. You can also do custom training sessions. It can be as little as an hour in which you can check up with Julian or any of our other engineers here to do a personalized training course. So you can go over any questions that you have. And if you register 2 people for training, you get the other one 40% off. So that's a great holiday promotion that we have going on right now as well. Is there any chance that this is going to be a recording? Yep, this will be recorded and posted to our YouTube page. You'll all get the recording link the following day at 1 o'clock or so. I can try to see if I can send it out. It's usually around 1 or 2 that it sends out. Let's see if we have any other questions. It looks like this might be another one of a long one, but can you talk a bit more about TOPO models on Revit?
I think we can as well gather the contact information and revisit that one.
Okay, great. Yep, so that concludes all of our questions for today. Thank you to everyone who attended. Again, do you want to go to the next slide? You can take a picture of my contact information here below, take a screenshot, take out your phone, take a picture of it. Would love to chat about learning more about the Revit tools. That's what I'm here for. Any questions that you might have, definitely reach out to me. And then our next slide, you will find that we have all these upcoming webinars. So we have an Inventor user group of the following week, December 8th, AutoCAD tips, Civil 3D tips, as well as a BIM webinar on December 9th and a Dynamo workshop December 10th. Dynamo workshop is going to be online as well as in person if you're in the Massachusetts, Boston area. So that's something that we're looking forward to. If you're interested in any of these, again, check them out on the website. We're always happy to host these and to make sure that you guys are learning along with us. But without further ado, that concludes this webinar. Again, thank you, Julian, for your time and for putting this all together. I'm happy that you all came out of this, 30 minutes in, and you all came out probably learning something new. That's what it's all about. And we look forward to hearing more from you. That concludes this webinar. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, Carolina, and thank you, everyone.